Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Lullaby Knitting Podcast. My name is Paula and I live south of Edinburgh with my husband and my little cat. Meg is kind of wandering about at the minute. I think she's gone back outside. She's been really enjoying the summer weather, so she spends most of the day outside actually, and she really likes being on the outside of the kitchen windowsill. So yeah, so that's where she might wander in at some point. But yeah, so today I have 2 finished objects and then 3 kind of active whips. I still have the evened in cardigan, which I still haven't finished. Anyway, might briefly mention that. But yeah, 3 active. Oh no, I forgot the other one as well. Do you know, I'll get on to it, but I've got so much knitting plans and knitting on the go at the minute. I've had to do a spreadsheet to keep track of everything, but anyway, I'll get on to that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 works in progress, not counting evened in. Yeah, and then there's Meg at she's at the living room window, which she almost never comes to. Anyway, if she sees me, she'll want me to open the window, and I'm not opening that window. She can't see me. Okay. Yeah, right. So let's just get on with it. So, and I'll kind of get on to the out of control buying wool and patterns later. Right. So the first finished object is, so it's a modified Peacock tee. I'm trying to hide from her because if she sees me, she'll start meowing at me. Anyway. So the first finished object is modified Peacock tee. So this is knitted in Camerose. So you can see it's got it's knitted in, it's the, however you pronounce that. And I think I got the colour dark ochre, and I explained in my last episode that, so the Camerose, that type of wool, it's 100% wool, and the colours are, the colour palette, the colour range is really amazing. There's some really beautiful colours in there, but I couldn't resist this kind of yellow colour, and there's just something kind of luminescent about it, even taking into account it's on a website, etc, etc, like online, looking at it through a screen. But the colour just really spoke to me, and this is a case of, I didn't think the whole project through when I started, so I just found wool that I really liked, found a pattern that I really liked, and then, so the Peacock tee by Linoholm Samso is it's a short sleeved t-shirt, and I've knitted it twice before in Drop Spell, and really, really love the dark blue and the cherry red that I knitted. The kind of detail at the yoke is just so beautiful. It's just such a lovely pattern. So when I was ordering the wool for this, I thought I'll get an extra ball just in case because it's wool, it's that kind of thing of a woolen short-sleeved jumper. When can you wear that? So I thought I'd turn it into a 3/4 length jumper, which I did, and it turned out really well, except, so to get the sleeves I used the sleeve pattern from the Anker sweater by Petite Knit, and so effectively the sleeves are just slightly too short on me. They're not short enough to be 3/4 length sleeves, but they're too short. I can't show you. They're too short to be. They're probably about an inch. They're probably about that much too short. So I do have more wool. So what I'm gonna have to do, something I really hate doing, is unpicking. And once I've finished a garment, I just want it to be finished. I've kind of got it ticked off my list. So having to go back in and unpick the rib, I thought about just making the rib longer, but that would put the balance of the rib at the bottom out. So I think what I will do is I'll just unpick the rib and then probably knit about a rib's worth more, and then knit the rib, and that should be long enough. It's such a lovely jumper. I didn't realise there was a butter yellow trend going on at the time, so I've kind of hit a trend without knowing anything about it, which is good. So I wasn't sure, you know, I've said before about a kind of yellow jumper. I'm not sure yellow is really my colour, and I have knitted a yellow jumper before that didn't suit me at all. But I do really like this, and it feels really lovely on, and I think I will like it. It's probably more of a kind of autumnal jumper, why is that? Just because of the top maybe, I'm not sure. It might be a winter jumper, we'll see. But yeah, so I think the Anker sweater, when you, like I did the sleeves the length that the Anker sweater says to do, but I think the Anker sweater, the yoke must sit lower down in the armpit than this does. So that kind of gives the length on the Anker sweater overall that I'm not getting here. That's why I'm going to have to unpick the sleeve and redo it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really happy with my, I used 7 balls in total. 7 or 8, I think it was 7. Yeah. 7 balls in total, so that's my Anker, it's my Peacock sweater. I might do another one. I kind of spoke before as well, I really love this yoke design so much, that and I have actually found some really nice summer tea patterns, other patterns that I do really like, and I'm making a list of them, so I might get round to making them next year. So yeah, so that's that. Right, and then the only other finished object I have, it's a shrug. So it's the Friend to Friend shrug by Leslie Friend. And it's a really simple little, turn it towards the light. It's a really simple little shrug, which I really like. It's knitted in, it's not knitted in anything amazing. It's, I was looking for a chunky wool and I came across this, and because I wasn't sure if I really wanted this or not, or yeah, I did want it, but I thought I'd do a kind of, almost like a kind of, it's almost like a kind of toile in sewing. You know, you kind of knit something up in a kind of cheaper fabric just to see if you like it or not. So that's what I did. So this is Stylecraft Softy Chunky. It's actually 80% acrylic and 20% wool. There's a huge, I got a couple of balls. So this was kind of inspired by the ready-to-wear company Toast do a really lovely kind of longer shrug. And I was actually, so the reason I knitted this was because I was looking, I quite often look for knitting inspiration on Toast website, and so I was actually looking at that shrug thinking about just knitting it myself and making up the pattern, and yeah, knitting it because I really liked it. And I think the shrug is like something like £150 or £200 or something, so I can knit my own pure wool shrug for much cheaper than that. So, and then when I saw this I thought this was really kind of similar, except it kind of stops. So the Toast shrug goes right down kind of to your belly button, I think, whereas this kind of stops. You can see it just kind of stops quite high up, really. So yeah, so it's a sweet little thing, and I think, so now that I've got the pattern, I've got the kind of template, I could knit a longer shrug in pure wool that would be very similar to the Toast shrug that I like. So I think I'll probably do that at some point. It's not going to happen anytime in the next year because as you'll see, I've got a lot of knitting to do before then. I might just describe what I'm wearing. it's kind of quite a dark day today. We've had really amazing weather for ages. It felt kind of like, it felt never ending at one point. It was so nice. And anyway, the kind of Scottish weather's returned. So it's much darker today, but I hope you can see everything. So this is the jumper, short sleeve jumper I'm wearing is it's a jumper from Vintage Knits, which I've shown before. And it's kind of rowan, it's 4-ply, it's rowan pure wool, I think, with Kid Silk Haze, rowan Kid Silk Haze mohair stripe. So it's such a sweet jumper, I really like it. And my kind of, my default kind of colours are purple and green. So you can see this is kind of purple and green. But yeah, I do really love it. And I don't know if you can see my skirt. My skirt is, you can just see my skirt. My skirt is actually, I made it as well. It's the Barcelona skirt by, the pattern is by Amy Butler. And it's my favourite skirt to sew. I should bring them out. I've got, I don't know, about 10, 12 versions. So I love the pattern, and I've just kind of used different fabric. This is actually in a kind of heavier cotton fabric than I would normally make it in, and it's unlined. Usually I get kind of light fabric, quilting fabric to make the skirts, and then line them. And they're really good, and they're kind of just past my knee, whereas when I made this I kind of modified it to sit just at my knee. Yeah, and it's such a, the fabric my husband brought me back from Japan once. I really love Japan, and quite often when he goes to Japan he asks me what I would like brought back. And everything I want brought back is like out of his comfort zone altogether. But he brought me back some really sweet fabric. And I made the fabric into different things. I think a pair of pyjama bottoms or shorts was one, and 2 skirts as well. So yeah, that was really nice. So so that's what I'm wearing, and it's really, you know, everybody who makes their own clothes knows how satisfying and kind of rewarding it is to wear something that you've made. I just really love it. I would spend my whole day making stuff, not just clothes, but anything and everything. I'd love to be able to spend my whole time making stuff. Anyway. So that's my finished objects. So I'll get onto my whips now. I'm just going to check the recording time, and I couldn't find the battery charger before I started recording, so I hope my battery's going to last as well. Oh yeah, it's okay. So 13, so okay, right. So next up is my whip. So I think in the last episode or the one before I did say that I was looking for other t-shirt designs that I could knit, and then I saw, apart from the Peacock tee, then I saw the Ida tee by Petite Knit, and I think she knits hers in wool, cashmere maybe. Anyway, again, it's that kind of so this is a short sleeve wool jumper, and I really love it, and it's okay to wear today because I'm in the house and it's kind of mild but cooler. Anyway, so this is my version of the Ida tee. Yeah, so you can see I've done the whole body. So now today I'll pick up and knit the sleeves hopefully, and then at some point I'll have to pick up and knit for the neckband, which is the only part of it that I kind of got used to. Like with the Peacock tee, it's you start knitting, there's no picking up and knitting anything at the end of the Peacock tee, which is also why I like it, and it's also why I like the Anker sweater. Anyway, it's not even going to take that long. But so the yarn I'm using is Drop Spell for the main colour and the contrast. So the main colour is dark jeans blue, and the contrast is the cherry. And yeah, I tried it on last night after I'd finished casting off the body, and it feels heavier than the Peacock tee, and it is 150-gram ball plus the stripes heavier, so it's probably going to be about 75 grams heavier overall. Maybe not, 50 grams maybe. But somehow it feels like much more of a kind of chunkier knit, and it's probably because of the, you know, these kind of, this detail here, the kind of yarn overs and holes. And so when I was knitting the yoke, so you start knitting it as if it's a cardigan. So you kind of start with the yoke, and then you kind of keep increasing until you can join it in the round, cast on the stitches for the neck and join it in the round, and then you knit it in the round, and then it's got a kind of standard split for sleeves, knit round and round. Somehow when I was knitting the yoke, every few rounds I would count my stitches to check I hadn't, because you don't kind of increase every round, it's only every other round in some places in the pattern, and depending on how much attention I was paying, I get into a habit of just increasing, you know, at the raglan, kind of doing increases either side of the stitch holders, stitch markers. So at one point I had to kind of add in a couple of extra stitches. Anyway, I got there and it looks okay on it. I can't tell where I went wrong and where I corrected it. So it's like one stitch out every, like, twice or something. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to finishing this and wearing it. Again, you know, I'd kind of knitted the yoke fairly quickly, and then the round and round on the body, felt like it took ages. It's probably taken me about 3 weeks to knit this, which, you know, I've got like a lot of other commitments that I have to do, so it's not bad overall. So Petite Knit likes, I'm not even sure it's worth showing you, but Petite Knit likes this kind of finished effect of, I don't know if you can see the rib. So you knit the rib, and then you do what's called a kind of double knitting before you do Italian bind off. And it's a technique I've done before. I did it on my that kind of neck that I knitted of Petite Knits. It just gives a kind of finishing touch. It's kind of almost kind of solidifies or shores up the edging. I thought it actually might make it less elastic by doing it, because it kind of, yeah, but it didn't, and anyway, it's okay. So sometimes I think just follow the pattern, Paula. Petite Knit has spent years designing garments, so trust. I've got a terrible habit of thinking I can figure things out better than other people, even people who have been doing things for years, and I always feel like if I apply my own logic and reasoning to something, just in case somebody hasn't kind of thought everything through. It's a personality trait of mine. I always think that I need to get in, instead of just letting people do their job or do what they're good at. I feel like I can improve things by applying my own logic and reasoning to any situation and figuring things out better. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the Ida tee. I was so loved this when I was knitting it, and looking at all the versions online, I just think they're so gorgeous. And then Wool Warehouse did that thing of I'd actually put stuff in my basket anyway, and then I'd left it in the basket for a day, and then before I could buy it, I knew I was going to buy it, they had a sale on the yarn that yarn that I was buying, which meant I could buy another garment's worth of yarn for the same amount of money. It's such a dangerous thing. Anyway, so it's my Ida tea. And yeah, I really like it. Petite knit. It's just hard to kind of. She's just released this other jumper. I think it's called the Ivy jumper. It's she's holding 2 strands of mohair together for the whole thing, and it's just. But there's something about the way she shapes a garment that is just exquisite. And so on the Ivy jumper, she has there's a kind of, I don't know what the design term is, but the kind of, then the shoulder comes to here, and then the shaping for the sleeves begin. So there's a really lovely detail on the shoulders of, you know, the shoulder just comes out and then the shaping begins. And so that combined with it's a really kind of easy design, and with the double held mohair, it just looks so nice. So yeah. My next work in progress is I'll just do them quickly actually, because I think I might have shown them in my last episode. This is Peacock Tea by Lenny Holmes Samso in Friends Cotton Silk. So it's just really nice green. It's a kind of, it gives a kind of marled effect because there's a kind of dark green strand running through. I think it's cotton and silk is the. So I think the kind of lighter green is the cotton and the darker green is the silk running through. I presume just because of the yarn content. Not sure if you can see that, but anyway. So I haven't been working on this at all. The Ida tea's taken up all of my attention, so I won't dwell on this too much. But again, I'm really into knitting summer teas at the minute because I have too many winter jumpers now, and I think I'm actually going to have to, I don't know where I'm going to store everything. Once that, like all the stuff that I'm knitting and that I've got the wool for, I actually don't know where I'm going to store it, because anyway, that's another problem. So I'm just going to look at the recording time. Oh, it's okay. 22, yeah, okay. So, and then the next kind of work in progress is, which I also don't think I've done any further work on, is that, do you know when I'm holding, it's the Anker sweater by Petite Knit, in this gorgeous, it's Drops Charisma lavender, and I haven't done any further work on it since, I think probably when I last showed it, but when I'm holding it now, I really want to knit it, which is the problem. I want to knit everything simultaneously, which obviously I can't. So yes, it feels really lovely, and I've got quite far. I just need to finish the body and then do the sleeves. Oh, it's also tempting. It's also tempting. Right, okay, my final whip is, so it's kind of an unintentional whip. When I excuse me, when I knitted the Shrug, this is what I have left from the acrylic wool yarn from knitting the Shrug. So I thought, why? So it's really soft. I mean, and I do like the colour. Blue is my colour. So I thought I would. It's always good to have. So it's a Sophie scarf. So this is chunky wool. I'm knitting it on. I think it's like 5.5. Hold on. What is it? Oh, 8. I thought it was bigger than 5. I was thinking that's not 5. 8mm needles, which is what the kind of wool recommends. The ball band recommends. So Sophie scarf in chunky wool and 8mm needles. I'm just following the pattern and doing the increases the same. So I'm just expecting a kind of bigger, chunkier Sophie scarf when I'm finished. And I'll just kind of use what I have, or until it looks like I need to start decreasing. So I'll keep increasing until I think possibly I should maybe have increased more regularly. Don't know. Anyway, I'm following the pattern. And this is my, what I pick up when I'm, like if I'm on Teams meetings at work, I turn my camera off and I just knit while everybody's waffling on. I mean, I actually find that having something in my hand, doing something with my hands, helps me to concentrate more. So, it's not that I'm in a meeting that I should be paying attention to and I'm actually just sitting knitting and daydreaming. Knitting actually does help me to concentrate better, and I do obviously participate in the meetings. I kind of turn my camera on and contribute. I actually try to contribute first so that I can carry on knitting while everybody else is then having a longer discussion. So yeah, if there's something to be discussed in these Teams meetings, I kind of try and get in first so that I can switch my camera off again and carry on knitting. But yeah, this is such a simple, it doesn't really matter what it looks like, but it's really nice to have something. Or, you know, I had it on the bus one day, you know, that kind of thing. So this is a pick-up when I need something simple. And so not very often because I've got so much else going on. Okay, so I'm going to, I might just break there and then come back and talk about my out of control knitting yarn buying. Okay, so that's all my finished objects and whips. So I don't do acquisitions, but so a wee while ago I put a kind of list together. I've got like a note thing on my phone, so I started putting a list together of all the wool that I have for patterns that I also have. So, you know, I don't really get wool without having a plan for it. So I started kind of noting down, let me just grab my phone and I'll kind of have a look at it. So I started noting down knitting patterns that I had and the wool that I also have for them. So, and then I was quite shocked by how many bundles of yarn and patterns I have to knit. I mean, so I think when I started the list, I think I had 14, and then I bought more and that quickly went up to 18, and now I'm kind of like, so even after like putting myself on a yarn buying ban, it then went up to I think it's 21 plus. I haven't even put everything on it. I've got things like, I bought wool to knit hats, they're not on the list, and I'm knitting something for a friend as well, that's not on the list. So so it's not really a reality check, but so I think I've got 21 plus patterns here, and then I've got a list of like patterns that I still want to buy and knit, but I think now I'm not going to allow myself to buy any more wool excuse me, until I have knitted these 21 projects. They're all, I mean, there are some projects that I also want to knit sooner rather than later. And I think maybe I was wondering if I should do an episode where I get all of the wool and all of the patterns together and show them. I don't know if I can be bothered. Will I? Probably not. I mean, at the top of my list to knit are 3 more Ida tees. So let me see if I can give you. So again, I'm rubbish at inserting. Well, I'm not rubbish. I haven't worked it out yet. How to insert photographs. So if you can see, so these are the colour bundles that I've got to. So that's these are for the eye duties. So that's Drop Spell and King Cole Linen Gel together. So that's a really lovely kind of yellow with that kind of raspberry colour. So they're so lovely together. And then the next kind of colour combination is that kind of moss green with that really lovely purple as the contrast colour. And then finally I've got that kind of brown Drop Spell with off-white. The off-white was actually left over from Karen's tool stitching. But the list, so I want to knit the 3 eye duties, so that's going to take quite a lot of time. The other pattern that I'm really excited to knit is the Key Sweater by Petite Knit. So I've got it in, I'm going to do brown and off-white, and then I got kind of dark green with a really beautiful pink. So I'm gonna hold Drops Charisma with mohair, and it's gonna be so lush. The only thing, I watched a podcaster documenting them knitting the Key Sweater. So I really love the Key Sweater. Let me see if I can. I'm sure everybody who's a knitter knows what the Key Sweater looks like. So yeah, I watched a podcaster documenting knitting the Key Sweater, and it was really interesting. Excuse me. Can't remember who it was. So this is the Key Sweater. And people have done really amazing versions. I mean, it's a kind of chunky. I think you hold DK with fingering or silk, and you get kind of Aran weight. I mean, it's just so lovely. So that's kind of like one of the colour combinations that I'll be doing. It's so lovely. And the yarn, I mean, I knitted this in Drops Charisma held with mohair, and it's such a lovely, luxurious, soft, and you've got the mohair, which is just really beautiful. So I'm really excited to have 2 winter jumpers in that. But so you can see, I mean, it's not so kind of obvious there, but can you see the sleeve, the bottoms of the sleeve? So they're quite wide, and the person that I watched kind of documenting the whole knitting journey pointed that out when she had finished, and hers were really wide. And so I think I don't mind wide-ish, but I don't want a big kind of floppy sleeve annoying me and letting in a draft. I mean, it's a winter jumper, so I think when I come to knitting the sleeves I will probably do some decreases, and I'll have to figure out how that will impact the design. But I don't think I can knit such big floppy sleeves. I mean, look. So yeah, it doesn't look, that's Petite Knit there. I mean, she's so kind of stylish and casual. The sleeves don't really pop out on hers, but yeah, seeing this person knitting it did kind of make me realise that, look at that colour combination, that's beautiful. So nice. Anyway, so yeah, so that's going to be my Key Sweater. And then what else am I excited? Oh yeah, so then I got, against my better judgment, I also bought wool to knit the Friday tea, and I bought Knitting for Olive. I can't remember the composition of the yarn actually. it must be cotton based. Cotton, I think it might be cotton merino. 4-ply. So again, the Friday tee is really beautiful, and I've seen so many versions that so I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist getting the pattern and then getting the wool. And the wool, I really love evocative names of colours. So again, that's Petite Knit, who's always really stylish. So I probably got, mine is probably going to look quite similar to that actually. So for the main colour I got Dusty Banana, which is such a great name, Dusty Banana. And for the stripe I got Cognac. So yeah, so I'm really excited about knitting that. But 4-ply and other podcasters who I've kind of watched note that it took them ages to knit it. Anyway, I think it got a folded collar as well. Yeah, I think it might have a folded collar. So that's going to be a kind of knuckling down and digging into knit that to finish that. So you can see I've got quite a lot of it's all Petite Knit. It's all Petite Knit has just seduced me. Yeah. There's another jumper pattern called the Norma sweater by My Favourite Things that I really like as well, but I don't have the wool or the pattern for that at the minute, and I'm not planning on getting it until next year because I just I've got enough to do. Like, look at this. Look at that, it's so gorgeous. I love when you can do when knitters do their own interpretation of the colours. I mean, you can get some really stunning effects. So anyway, I don't have that pattern and I'm not buying that pattern, and yeah. So that's my list. I mean, most of it's like tees and sweaters, and yeah, I've got another, like the vintage knits, the little cap top that I have. I really want to knit that again. I've got another Stockholm slipover that I want to knit. Yeah, Rigmore tee. Oh yeah, probably. I've got wool to knit another modified Rigmore tee. I had to modify the Rigmore tee to do 3/4 length sleeves in wool, but I'll probably turn that into, I really want to knit the Ranunculus sweater by Midori Hirose. I've got the pattern, so I'll probably convert the yarn that I got for the Rigmore, I'll probably convert that into a Ranunculus. But yeah, so that's that. What else do I have to talk about? But yeah, it's kind of sobering having that many knits to do. Partly because I'm constantly tempted by other items, other patterns. Anyway, so that's that. So next on my list is, so I'm going to insert some footage here of, so my little friend Willow, for her birthday I got her, she's been wanting to do amigurumi for quite a while. So that's like where you crochet cute little animals. It's a Japanese thing. And they are really cute, and I've wanted to do amigurumi for a long time. So anyway, I got her this bee crochet for her birthday, and so she brought it around and we recorded a segment, and I'll probably insert the whole thing, and then we're going to kind of record us making the bee. So we've recorded the beginning of us introducing, this is what we're going to do, and I said I'd insert it into my next podcast. So I'll stop here. She's very funny, she's so funny. And yeah, so next up, she got me to when I was starting recording. So she wanted to kind of jump into this segment as I was recording. So I had to kind of start the recording as if I was starting an episode. So that's why I might cut it out, or I might just leave it because it is really funny. So next up is Bee Girl. So, hello. Welcome to episode 13 of the Lullabelly Knitting Podcast. My name is Paula and I live in south of Edinburgh with my husband and my little cat. So today, the first thing we're going to look at is crocheting this little bee. So I've never really crocheted a bee before, so what we're going to do is... oh no, who's that crashing my video?
Hello.
So, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Willow. You can call me Braveheart because kind of Therian name thing. I am Therian. Yeah.
And what are we doing today?
Crocheting bee.
Yes. So,
I hear a bee.
well, you are Bee Girl, but we'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we're both quite new to crochet or amigurumi, which is what I prefer to call it because it sounds much cooler. And Willow would really like to have this little bee amigurumi. And there's a little bit of a story to the Bee Girl. So some of you may have heard of Bee Girl last year. So Willow is Bee Girl, and she went viral last year with because she saved a bee. We should have got the motivational posters that you did for it. They're still in the back. So last year Willow saved a bee from the allotment, and she did little motivational posters for it.
That's all they talked about.
Yeah, I know. You got a bit fed up because people did talk about it for quite a long time, and
Yeah.
but she was on like This Morning and in national newspapers and magazines, and I think your mum put it on her Twitter, and
That's how it became viral.
that's how it went viral. And I think
loads of people's days.
it did, and I think it got about, I don't know, was it over 1 million views? It was really, I think it was like
Very
one of
popular.
very popular, one of the top 10 viral moments of the year, wasn't it? And anyway, we did save a bee, and Willow saved a bee by giving it some honey and motivational posters. What did the posters say? Can you remember?
It was like never give up and stuff.
Never go up, yeah.
Then it
Good
flew
advice.
away.
It did. So we put it on the windowsill and then it flew away. So it did revive and survive, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what
Remind me how long bees live.
I think we did look it up, but I can't remember. Anyway, this one lived and flew away and looked much better when it flew away, didn't it?
Yeah.
So today we've got all of our kit, and so we've got the wool, the crochet.
Yeah.
What's that, Willow?
Like the stuffing of a turkey, but you have to make the turkey.
Yeah.
Except fluff stuff. The fluff stuff.
Yeah. So we've got the crochet hook and everything we need. I know how to crochet a little bit, but I've never crocheted
don't.
a bee. It's Willow's first time crocheting.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do like the first instalment, which is this, and then we're going to go away, watch, there's a instructional video. We've just scanned the QR code.
Yeah.
So there's an instructional video
Yes.
for us to watch. The first bit is 12 minutes long, so we're going to do that, and then this is the first segment of the bee crochet, and next time we record, which will probably be in about a month, we'll have finished it, I
Yeah.
think. So stay tuned next time for the completion of the bee crochet.
Yeah. And that is me out. I'm such a silly.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed Willow's dancing and jumping around. She's really funny. She really loves kind of anything explorative or adventurous or funny. Yeah, she's a really good, a good wee soul. Anyway, so next up, so I'm still reading Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, and I am really loving it. I'm reading it slowly. I mostly read it at lunchtime. I do occasionally kind of sit and read, but when I've got knitting to do, knitting often takes precedence. And I did have an Audible subscription on and off for years, but I find that I much prefer the physical act of reading, because I kind of like to be able to set my own pace rather than have it coming at me. I don't mind listening to like kind of easy crime novels on Audible, like when I'm driving to my dad's, like Richard Osman or Kate Atkinson, that kind of thing. Is fine, but if there's anything kind of that I want to think about, then I prefer to physically read it. So yeah, so very slowly reading. And what else? Just summer always feels really busy. So we went kayaking the other day for the first time in ages, and that was so nice. So nice to be out in the water again. We just go to the local reservoir and kind of kayak around there. But I just love being on the water. There's something so calming about it, and just I love seeing the bird life on the reservoir. There's everything. There's geese and ducks and a whole load of things, and they've all got their young at the minute, so they're so cute. So yeah, so that was good. Kayaking. We didn't get out together kayaking last year, so it was really nice that we could go out this year together. It's really nice. I just went paddle boarding myself last year. I've been also, so since having whooping cough, I've been trying to kind of get my fitness back, and it's getting there actually. It's really good to be able to do more. So I've been doing the Couch to 5k again. I quite often do the Couch to 5k every summer. I didn't do it last year, but yeah, so I've been doing the Couch to 5k, and it's really, I just run up and down my driveway. I've got quite a long driveway, and it's kind of lined with trees, and there's something really lovely. I go out first thing in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning, before anybody's going to be, we share the drive with 2 other houses, before anybody else is going to be using the drive, so that I'm undisturbed and I can just enjoy kind of nature and the seasonal flowers. And I often bump into deer when I'm running, which are really lovely. There's a mum and 2 young deer who have been dotting about for a couple of years now, and they're just so sweet. And yeah, the chickens are free ranging again, so depending if the chickens have been let out, I sometimes bump into the chickens. Yeah, so it's just really lovely having that much fresh air in my lungs, and because of the weather, it's like sunlight in the morning as well. It just feels really, I really love it. So yeah, I've been doing that, and nothing much else. We've been doing the allotment, but kind of doing it very kind of pared down. So we put our tatties in. We've got tomatoes on the go. My husband's doing chilies. I put some sunflowers out the other day just because my friend did sunflowers a couple of years ago, and they were so beautiful. Turning the corner into the allotment and the sunflowers were just there. It was really lovely. So I thought I'd do that again. But that's about it. We're not doing anything big this year. I think we need to cover the beds we're not using and kind of prep them for next year. Yeah, so that's about it for the allotment. Oh, except, so the person that we inherited the allotment from, Des, has a big patch of rhubarb. He obviously really, really, really loved rhubarb. So I got a few stalks yesterday and stewed some rhubarb and had it with plain yogurt. There's something really so comforting about stewed rhubarb. I just love it. It's so nice. I mean, I really love rhubarb crumble, but that's more calorific. So I have stewed rhubarb with plain yogurt, and that's really lovely. And that's pretty much it. The only final thing is I'm doing I've got to show you my sunglasses before I tell you my final thing. So this kind of relates. I went down to Dumfries a couple of weeks ago to see some school friends, and so my friend Pam, so I was best friends with one of they're twins, so I was best friends with one of them at school, and then the other one, Pam and I worked together. We had a little after school job. It was really awful. I'm laughing because of the things that we did when we were working there. It was just really it's kids, you know, we were kids and we didn't care. We didn't care, but we didn't want to get caught and told off. Like one day we dropped a whole tray of cooked sausages on the floor that hadn't been cleaned, and we just picked them all up and put them back in the fridge. So we did things like that, which is really, it's really awful. But anyway, so that was that. So Pam and I worked together. So Pam now has chickens as well, and cats and dogs. So I went to see her kind of set up and to have lunch, and it was really lovely. And so anyway, her twin Karen turned up wearing these sunglasses, which I really liked. So I really like the idea and the actuality of having sunglasses where people can't see my eyes. So these were the exact pair that Karen had, and again it's the kind of the purple and green I just really love. So I just think about getting a different coloured pair to her, but I just got exactly the same. So these are my summer sunglasses. I really like them. They're gooder, and they're great. They're so lightweight, and I think they're for kind of sports people as well. So they stay on. So if you're running, they stay on, and they feel really lightweight. So yeah. So then, because the colour that suits me best is actually blue, so I couldn't resist going on and buying another pair of blue sunglasses. So I really like these as well. So yeah, so these are my summer sunglasses. I haven't had sunglasses for years because I used to have a pair many years ago that they had kind of little screws keeping the leg to the frame, and those screws just kept kind of not entirely falling out, but falling out enough that I had to keep screwing them in, and that kind of put me off from wearing them at all. So these are great. They don't have any of that going on. So yeah, my sunglasses. And yeah, so Pam showed me, she does kind of glass art. She goes to the beach and she picks up coloured glass that has been kind of, you know, ravaged by the sea and stones and stuff. So she picks up coloured glass and pebbles, and then makes them into really, really lovely pictures. And the one that she showed me, she was keeping for her son because he really liked it. So it was like she got like a kind of couple of twigs to make it look like a branch, and then she kind of set these different coloured glass on the branches and kind of just drawn eyes on them. And it was really lovely, and she showed me a couple of others that she'd done, and they were really quite striking. So she offered to make me one, so of course I accepted. And then I kind of offered to make her something back, and I kind of told her my favourite designer is Petite Knit, and if she wanted to choose something out and tell me what colour, I'd make her something. But I don't know if she just felt that would maybe be too much of an ask, or yeah, maybe it was kind of too overwhelming giving her like a complete open book. So she said obviously I didn't have to make her anything, so I said okay, I'll make you a surprise. So I'm making her a surprise. So I've bought the wool and I've started knitting it. It's something I've wanted to remake for quite a long time, but it's something that I need to really concentrate on. It's colour work, so yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of set aside a day and concentrate on that, which will be fine. I do really like doing colour work. It's really satisfying seeing the pattern emerge. So I hope she likes it, and I hope it works out okay. I haven't knitted this thing for a few years, so yeah, I think that's everything for today. I'm gonna go, and my husband is coming back today from, they had a gig, so the kind of summer festival season has begun. So they were away somewhere doing a festival near Birmingham, I think. And so I'm probably going to pick him up from the train station. It's always dropping him to and from the airport is really easy. The airport's about a 15-20 minute drive away. We pick up the drummer en route. He lives kind of en route to the airport, so that's really, everything's really easy. Dropping off and picking up at the train station is not my favourite thing. So yeah, there's nowhere to kind of drop off or pick up. It's always busy, and especially coming into summer, it's going to be Edinburgh. I had to walk down to Princess Street the other day from work, and it's just already, there's just like zombies everywhere. So zombies with really luggage, which is great. It's like they're on holiday, they're having a lovely time, but I'm trying to live there. So, and they just kind of like, especially driving in town during kind of festival season, people just, there's crowds everywhere. They're not on the pavement, they're kind of falling onto the road, so like avoiding hitting them takes a lot of concentration. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna stop now and go and have lunch and probably shut the window, although Meg doesn't like the window being shut even when she's nowhere near the window. But yeah, it's getting a bit chilly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. I'm not sure if I'll do a kind of, you know, my kind of spreadsheet of a whole podcast on like the patterns and the wool I have. I don't think I can be bothered doing that, so I'll probably just, my next podcast will be a normal podcast again. I think once I'll have finished the Ida tea and hopefully one or two other things. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.